Alright, so this is the second trade recap of yesterday. So this is our Wednesday's trade, and I only took one trade. Yeah, one trade, I believe. Yeah, one trade yesterday, and it was a TP. I do think it was a really good trade. I think risk management was great. Overall, it was just a really good trade. However, there were some mistakes I made, if you want to call them mistakes. It did work out in my favor, but also this could have not worked out in my favor, so it's interesting, and we'll cover that right now. Came into the day with very choppy late night price action, and then we opened Asia at 1 a.m. and we had this consolidation here. We then dumped down, created Asia lows, and we came to sweep Asia highs, which in my eyes, that's a perfect setup. The only reason I didn't take a 1% risk on this trade was purely because of these liquidity sweeps just here and how close they were. If I can find the brush, there it is. I didn't like how close these liquidity sweeps were, so I only took 0.5% on this trade purely because we swept this 1 hour drawing liquidity just here, which also was an Asian sweep. So a session sweep and a 1 hour drawing liquidity, which meant that I could enter a trade. I only entered with 0.5% purely because of what I just explained with these highs just here. I then waited for a 5-minute breaker structure because everything was in line. The 4 hour was down and the 1 hour was down. And yeah, the breaker structure was here. Entered in a bit lower, which is not the end of the world. I was risking 0.5% with 11 pips. And I initially had my TP at this low right here, which is the Asian low. And as you can see, we came really close to it initially. And we pumped back up. When we pumped back up, well, when I saw this pattern form, I knew we wanted to pump up a bit. So I lowered my risk from 11 pips to just half, which would be like 5.7. 5.5, 5.7, something like that. And yeah, lowered risk. Risk was lowered on the table. I then adjusted my TP to just these lows just here, as I did think now that we got really close, we are going to break this level down. And I was correct. However, you shouldn't really move your TP once the trade's open. So that was a mistake from my end. It did end up paying me, but it's not something I should probably get used to. And it says a 1 to 1.8, but I did get a risk reward of 1 to 2. I don't know if my stop loss was tighter, but I ended up making 1,000 on this trade. And yeah, this is just from risking 0.5%. It was a pretty simple trade. It just took 4 hours and 20 minutes to TP, which is quite long. But overall, the complexity of the trade was really, really easy. If we go into 1 hour, I can just show you guys how easy it was. And the more you play this market, I guess if you want to say, the more you realize these simple setups do end up playing. You just have to be patient. Price action was really choppy, so I was really happy to finish the day at just 12. I walked away for the day. I did have a feeling this was going to reverse, and I could have taken a long based off that, but bias just wasn't in the favor, so I just ended up not taking anything. And yeah, as you can see now, we're dumping. Yeah, bias was just in favor of this short, not in favor of the longs, so just took the short and walked away for the day. How I entered was nothing special really. It was just a 5-minute break of structure and then just targeting a drawing liquidity on the low side. Emotions were good. Risk management was really good. The only thing I could improve on was the TP, as it was a bit cheeky from me to move from this low to this low. It wasn't a lot, but even a pip can make a difference in forex, and I'm sure as many of you guys know that. But yeah, there's not much else to say on this. It was a pretty good trade, a pretty solid trade. Market moved quite well considering there was no news on Wednesday. No, there was FOMC meeting minutes. Market moved quite well considering there was FOMC meeting minutes, and that's probably why we got a little consolidation around this zone on the 1 hour. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty satisfied, and that was the win for Wednesday. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I hope you guys benefited from this. And this is kind of my journal, hence why I'm making the video. And yeah, thank you for watching.